today we have Kirsten, who is South African, but been living in the UK for quite a while. And when we first met her, so Kirsten, by the way, is staying at the co-living house, which is also part of the Green Room. I'm sure you guys know by now. And when we first met her, found out that she does a lot of really cool things, which I'm hoping she's going to touch on like a bit of everything.
Maybe not too much.
Maybe in the Q&A.
Yes, Q&A probably.
But today in specific, as you guys have seen, we're talking a lot about the thinking. So I won't give too much away. But thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And over to you.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for the introduction, Steffi. That's awesome. Thank you. So, hello everyone, welcome. My name is Kirsten, as Steffi mentioned, and today I'm going to be doing a talk on how there's this hidden influence that our beliefs can have on our life and how it shapes our life. So by the end of this talk, you're going to have an understanding of what your self-beliefs are and how they can shape your reality, and you're also going to have an understanding of the role that your subconscious mind plays in your beliefs and your reality. And then, lastly, I'm going to speak to you about how you can actually identify these limiting beliefs that you might have that could be holding you back, how you can reframe them and create a new reality for yourself. Okay, so first of all, I want to start off with what are our self-beliefs. So self-beliefs are these ideas and these thoughts that we have about ourselves that we believe to be true. They might not necessarily be true, but we do believe that they are true. So you may have a belief in yourself that you are smart, or you may have a belief that you're not so smart. You may have a belief that you are worthy of love, or you may have a belief that you are not worthy of love, or that you are unlovable. Or you may have a belief that you are capable of achieving something, or you may have a belief that you're not capable of achieving something. But either way, whatever you believe about yourself creates your reality. So it's very, very important to have this heightened awareness of what your beliefs are about yourself, because your beliefs can either be empowering and lead you to your full potential, or they can be disempowering and limiting and keep you stuck in these invisible barriers, or like a mental prison essentially, and not moving forward in life. So it's very, very important to keep an eye on these things. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about, we'll be looking at my notes because I don't have a presentation today, is just to share a story about how these empowering beliefs and limiting beliefs can actually shape your reality. So I'm going to share a story about two women. So we have Sarah and we have Emily. Now, both of them are very talented, they're very bright, and they are full of potential. They grew up together, they went to the same school together, they even started their careers at the same time. But as life went on, their lives started to take two very different paths, and that came down to their beliefs. So we have Sarah, who had this belief that she had to be perfect at everything. She was quite a perfectionist. Now, this might seem harmless, but being a perfectionist is a very limiting belief. And because of that, she didn't want to put herself out there because she was worried about making mistakes, she was worried about failing, and she wouldn't accept all these new challenges for fear of getting it wrong and not getting it right. So when opportunities did come her way, she would think to herself, oh my goodness, I'm not ready yet, or what if I fail? And these thoughts and these beliefs kept her trapped and kept her small, and she wasn't moving forward in her life. She wasn't moving forward in her career, and she ended up in a job that she hated, just not moving forward. Then we have Emily, on the other hand, who has this belief that success comes with growth and learning, and that mistakes are inevitable and they will be there along the way. And it's just part of the journey. And this is very empowering for her because she was able to be in the space of pushing her comfort zone, stretching herself, taking risks, seeing challenges as opportunities for growth. And this allowed her to really expand in her career. So when a job opportunity did come up, a new role came up in her career, she was able to say, why not me? Let me give this a go and see what I can learn along the way. And she did. And this allowed her to rise up through her career. She was able to take on new challenges, new experiences, and live a very successful life. So you can see how you have two people with the same capabilities, the same talents, but yet the trajectory of their life took two very different paths. And that's why it's so important to focus on these limiting beliefs all these empowering beliefs about yourself. So the good news is that your beliefs are not fixed. So if you do have any beliefs that are holding you back in any way, you can change them. But in order to change them, you need to have an idea about how your subconscious mind works and the role that it plays in your belief system. So, mouth is very dry today. So, the thing about your mind, and what is good to know about your mind, is that there are two parts to our minds. We have our conscious mind and we have our subconscious mind. Now, our conscious mind is our thinking mind. So you're listening to me now, we're having conversations. That's where we problem solve, we rationalize, and where we keep our short-term memory. But the conscious mind is only responsible for 5% of our actions and our behaviors. Only 5%, so that's really little. And then we have our subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind is like this powerhouse. It is huge. It is so, so powerful. And it's almost like this massive server, and it's taking in information all the time. And it literally starts taking in information from the day that you were born right into this present moment. So it's analyzing, it's listening, it's always paying attention to what's going on. Now, in your subconscious mind, this is where our beliefs are stored. This is where our emotions are stored, our long-term memories, and our fears and our expectations. These are all stored in the subconscious mind. But the problem is we don't have direct access to the subconscious mind. And it's because it's the most powerful, it's always running the show, okay? So I'll give an example. If, say, someone has a belief, or say someone has a goal, or that they'd like to be in a relationship, they'd like to fall in love and be in a relationship. So that's what they consciously want. They know this much. But then you have your subconscious mind, who's been taking in information the entire time throughout your life, and looks at this person and goes, okay, you want to create a healthy, loving relationship, but your past experiences don't show that that's been happening. So what it does is it looks at these past experiences, it sees the string of toxic relationships, you've been cheated on, you've had your heart broken, and the mind goes and it looks at this, the subconscious mind, and says, no, this is actually not safe. And your subconscious mind is there to keep you safe, to keep you alive, and to keep you away from pain. So when it analyzes this and it sees that, okay, these past relationships have caused you nothing but pain, it's going to move you away from it. So you might have the conscious thought of, I want a loving relationship, but your subconscious mind is going, this is not what we believe, because every time we've been in a relationship, it's been painful. And that part of your mind wants to protect you and keep you away from it. So you might enter into a relationship, but then you find yourself sabotaging, or you might find yourself, as things start to get intimate, you freak out and then you leave before you can get hurt. Or the other option is that belief that relationships cause pain is so deep that you don't even give yourself the opportunity to be in a relationship. So you don't even put yourself out there to go and date. So it's a really good example of how the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, they need to be on the same page. And if they're not on the same page and they're not marrying up, you're never going to get whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve. So yes, consciously you want something, but if it's not in alignment with what your subconscious believes, it's never going to happen, because your subconscious is more powerful, and it will win every single time, no matter what. Okay, so what do we do from here? So now we know that we don't have direct access to our subconscious mind, and it's way more powerful than our wants and desires. It's not there to keep us happy, it wants to just keep us alive. So this is where it comes to identifying your beliefs. Now, there are many ways that you can identify your beliefs. You can either work with a professional, with a mindset coach, with a hypnotherapist. You can work with body workers, breathwork practitioners that will all help to bring the subconscious into your conscious mind. So, but there's a technique that I'm going to speak to you today about that you can do for yourself at home. So it takes 4 steps. So it involves identifying the limiting belief, because without identifying it, we can't create the change. The second thing is to question the belief, whatever it is that comes up. And the third thing is to reframe it. And the fourth thing is to start creating a new belief. Now, the information I'm going to give you now, if you don't remember it all, that's okay. I do have a framework, so if anybody would like the framework to how you can do this at home, I'm happy to share that with you. Okay, but it all starts with taking some time and having some introspection. So this is where you get to go home and sit and be with yourself and your thoughts, which sometimes can be a little bit scary, and you get to be really honest with yourself and look at certain areas of your life. So look at your finances, look at your career, look at your health, look at your relationships, look at your spirituality, and ask yourself, what area am I feeling stuck in, or am I the most dissatisfied? Because there's likely some limiting beliefs that are holding you back in that area for whatever it is that you want to achieve. So then what you do is you sit with yourself and you ask yourself, what is it that I believe about myself in this area? And why do I believe that I can't have it? And you just allow yourself to journal. So all you're going to do is write out these things that you believe. And your mind's very intelligent. It'll bring up, you just trust yourself and trust the process that'll give you the information that you need. And notice your thoughts. See if you're saying things like, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not able to because X, Y, and Z. And by writing all of these things down, you start to see where the beliefs are. And then once you see what the belief is, then you're able to question it. So say you've got this belief that you're not good enough to be highly successful in your career. Then you start to question it. You go, is this really true? Am I really not capable, or am I not good enough to become successful in my career? And then you find evidence that supports you in that, is this belief actually real or is it not? So maybe you had a really big project that you worked on and you did incredibly well and you were praised for it. So that again starts squashing this belief of I'm not good enough, be successful. And then you reframe it. So that's the third thing. So you reframe it into a positive, and you take that belief of I'm not good enough at being successful in my career, and you say I am capable and I have the skills and the determination to be successful in my career. And you take that and you stick it on a post-it note and you put it everywhere. You stick it on your bathroom mirror, so when you're brushing your teeth, you see it in the morning and the evening, and that's how your brain starts to rewire it, because your brain will do what you tell it to do. So if you're feeding it the right information, it will create a blueprint to create this reality. So put it on your bathroom mirror, stick it on your fridge, put it on your phone as a screensaver, look at it every single day, and then visualize yourself achieving that goal or whatever it is that you want to achieve. But bring your entire senses online, because visualization is so incredibly powerful. So you want to see yourself achieving your dream or whatever it is that you want to achieve. You want to hear people praising you, or hear yourself being proud of yourself, saying these good things to yourself. You want to feel what it feels like. How does it feel? Does it feel good? You want to, what does it taste like? Like, are you sitting in this big fancy board meeting, sipping coffee? So you're tasting coffee, you're smelling coffee. Like, bring all of your senses online, because the brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not real. So the more you visualize and you show it this picture, it will start to create it. And then the last thing that you do is you start taking action steps towards your goal. And you, little steps can be the tiniest thing, whatever it is to move you in the direction of your goal. And preferably, once you've done this exercise, if you choose to do it, is do it within 24 hours, because then you're just really solidifying it in and telling your brain that this is what you want. So your brain is incredibly powerful. So as I finish off this talk, it's like this wild horse. It's very wild and free, and it's very powerful. But if you don't know how to ride it, it's going to take you in all sorts of directions that maybe you don't necessarily want to go. So it's very important to keep an eye on your thoughts, on your beliefs, and give your brain good, empowering thoughts and beliefs, because then it has to create that kind of reality. And also remember that your beliefs, they're not fixed, so you can change them at any time. So even though you might feel dissatisfied or things might be tough for a little while, know that it's temporary and you can change it. Okay, so to leave you with a quote from Henry Ford, he said that whether you think you can't or whether you think you can, you're right. And it's so true. All right. Oh, bless. Does anyone have any questions? It's actually the work that I do. So I help a lot of people overcome their beliefs, and they're all subconscious, and it's about rewiring and changing their beliefs about themselves. So they come to me with a problem and I help them with a solution and getting to where they want to go. So I'm very passionate about it because everything that I see either comes from childhood, it comes from people's past experiences, and these disempowering beliefs hold them back. And I love helping people to move forward. So that's why I'm passionate about the subject. So it depends. I don't work with alcoholics and drug addicts, so that's out of my scope of practice. What I've been doing is I only work with women, and I work with women around their sexuality, and I work with them around their confidence and their self-worth. And now I'm moving into entrepreneurship, and I'll be working around their beliefs, around their success, their fears, and things like that. So if someone did have issues with alcoholism or depression or drug addict, I would send them to someone else, so a specialist that can do with that. But they don't tend to come to me because that's not the kind of marketing I do. So.
Yeah, what about eating disorders? Is that drug addict, but also it's like the young neuroscientist was here and he says there's no free will. I go to the supermarket, I come back nights later, oh, did I buy this? Oh, good. The other part of me says, no, you shouldn't buy that.
Yes. Yeah, that's your subconscious mind at work. Yeah. It's basically controlling your behaviors and your actions, and most of the time we're not aware of these programs that are running on in the background. So, but yes, when you start identifying what you do want to create, then you can work your way towards it.
Towards free will. You can have a free will.
Well, yeah, I mean, I believe we all have free will. I think, yeah. Yeah. So you can find me on LinkedIn. That's where my home is. That's where I put all my information out and who I speak to. And I got into this, I actually used to be a podiatrist, and then I retrained as a hypnotherapist, and I just started helping women with self-confidence, self-worth issues, and then it just kind of expanded into women's sexuality, and yeah, I've just kind of been going in all these different avenues, but now I'm feeling called to work with entrepreneurs, so that's where I'm at right now.
And most of your clientele in the UK, or?
They're worldwide, but most are in the UK because I work online, so all of my sessions I run online, so I've had clients in the US, in Austria, in Qatar, and then the UK.
Okay, maybe.
So.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say hypnotherapist?
Yes, hypnotherapist.
Small.
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
Yeah,
that's where all this.
Work. You must get straight in tune to the person there, eh?
Yes, yeah. So the hypnotherapy is very powerful in going back to where the root cause of these beliefs originate from. So if you do have a belief that you're not good enough, or that you have blocks around money, the hypnotherapy allows me to go into their mind, into their subconscious mind, and find where the belief originates from. So it could come from childhood, it could come from a past experience, and then when we find the root cause of what's causing their belief of why, let's say, they don't feel good enough, then we can reframe it. And then I also use, so the mind learns by repetition, essentially. So what you do is, so what I do with my hypnotherapy is create a recording with very powerful suggestions. So we find out the issue, we reframe it, and then reinforce it with positive suggestions. And that is a recording that they listen to for 3 weeks. And that helps to seal in new neural pathways. Like, I think anything that you want to go for is possible. Like, again, it's finding the limiting, I mean, obviously, like flying, yes, we know that's not possible. So, yes, that would probably draw the line in logic, reasoning. But essentially, if it's anything that you want to achieve, or you want to experience, or you want to grow in some way, if someone else has done it before you, it's likely that you'll be able to do it. And if you're not doing it, it's because there's some kind of limiting belief in the way. So it's just about finding what it is and then reframing it and then creating the new belief. But obviously, we can't fly. Yes. You can try. Might not end so well.
Well, that was maybe drastic example.
Yes. Okay.
Any other questions? No. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
Around to talk about hypnosis.
You just like love hypnosis.
Cool, but thanks guys. Thanks for joining. Thank you, Kirsten, for taking the time.
Thank you.
Very, very cool.
Thank you so
And
much.
I'm sure she is going to be maybe hanging around for a little bit. If anybody does have any other questions, she'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.